Let me tell you something. Nothing in my life prepared me for the day a full-powered Karen stormed across my land, screaming at me for camping on property I literally just bought. You think you know what rude neighbors are? I thought I did too. But then I met this woman, a walking siren with sunglasses, marching straight toward us like she owned the whole zip code. And this is not some just passing by situation. My buddies and I, we planned this trip for months. Real workaholics desperate to touch grass, cook over a fire, fish in a creek, sleep under a sky without city lights. We show up with coolers and gear, jokes flying, soaking up that fresh country air, feeling like we'd finally won at adulthood. For the first hour, it was perfect. Hills rolling away, giant oaks holding up the sky, deer running off just to politely make room for us. The creek sparkled. I could almost hear the theme song to Every Good Life commercial playing in my head. And then, like God dropped a megaphone out of a low-flying plane, her voice shattered the silence. "What do you think you're doing on my property?" I look up, and there she is, hands on hips, sunglasses, energy so strong it could power Tesla. She doesn't know it yet, but she just picked a fight she can't win, because we're not trespassing. We're home. Now, real quick, where are you watching from? What time is it in your part of the world? I want to know how far these Karen stories are reaching. And if you like wild HOA drama, stick around. You'll get your fill. Back to the madness. We'd spent half a year searching for this spot. 40 acres of green, a creek down the middle, untouched, unspoiled, felt like stepping into a postcard. 3 of us pooled our cash, called the agent, made an offer, and 2 weeks later, bam, landowners. There's something about pulling up to a place with your name on the deed that changes you. When we rolled onto that grass path, the truck went silent. Nobody talking, everyone just staring out the windows like, is this for real? The hills rolled out like waves. The big oak stood guard over everything. My buddy Jeff, classic, leans forward and says, "Boys, we're going to die out here, but like happily." He's got a point. We set up camp, chairs out, tent staked down, beers cracked open. We were living the dream. Then, like some cosmic alarm clock, the piece got yanked. There she was again. "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" All 4 of us froze. Jeff muttered, "Oh, boss fight." She came marching, mid-40s, posture stiff, sunglasses bright, radiating pure HOA president energy. "This is private property. You can't just camp wherever you want." I stand up, hands raised. "Let's all just breathe here, lady." "Ma'am, we actually own this land. Bought it last week, paperwork's in the truck." She snapped back. "I don't want to see your fake paperwork. My family's been hiking here for 20 years. He'd never sell it to strangers." Behind me, the guys are trying not to laugh, but it's half confusion, half "we told you, dude, Karen Central." I try again, "Not strangers. We bought it. Deeds in our name now." She locks her arms, elbows about to touch, and threatens. "You people are trespassing. Leave now, or I'm calling the sheriff." Voice so sharp, I'm surprised the birds didn't drop out of the trees. Jeff's behind me, whispering, "Bro, she's acting like we stole the Declaration of Independence." I keep calm. "Look, call whoever you want. We're not going anywhere." Karen huffs, points at my face, spins around, and storms off, muttering, "Idiots! Criminals!" so loud we could still hear her by the creek. The second she's out of earshot, we all lose it, laughing, shaking our heads. 30 minutes, Sam says, and we've already bought a ticket to HOA hell. But, deep down, I felt it. This woman was going to make our lives harder than a $2 steak. Still, we refused to let her ruin our trip. We fished, joked, roasted sausages, dared each other into the freezing creek, which lasted 5 seconds before the yelling started. The world felt perfect until sunset. Then we spot her, lurking at the fence line, hands on hips, staring like a haunted scarecrow possessed by resentment. "Dude," Sam whispers, "why is she built like a scarecrow powered by spite?" Jeff just waves, and Karen stomps away again. That night, I lay in my tent, turning it over in my mind. What was her deal? Territorial? Entitled? Just one of those people who thinks any land she steps on is automatically hers? Either way, I knew we hadn't seen the last of her. Sure enough, next morning, the knocking woke us up hard. A sheriff's deputy at the camper door. Looked tired, not mad, just tired, like he'd seen Karen's routine 100 times. Morning, folks. Trespassing complaint. And there she was, arms crossed, grinning smug. I hand him all the paperwork, deed, contract, county stamps. He checks, nods, turns to Karen with the look of a man begging for early retirement. Ma'am, they own the land. She goes pale, insists it's a forgery. The deputy warns her, don't make false reports, then apologizes to us and drives off. Karen lets out a noise that's half growl, half banshee, then stomps away again. Jeff grins. Yeah, she's not done. He was right. If you think a sheriff shutting her down would cool her off, you've never met a determined Karen. If anything, she doubled down. She returned, this time with 2 mini Karens. Eyebrows raised, lips pursed, expressions of judgment, so pure you'd think we were chopping down a national forest. Sheriff, we're not, she barked. This is not over. My family's used this land for generations. You can't just pitch a tent and pretend you belong. Jeff, that's literally what buying land means. They gasp, clutching their pearls. The community agrees you're destroying natural hiking trails. Sam deadpants, it's grass. Because you camped on it. Karen roars. She leans in, lowering her voice. Pack up, or I'll make this very, very difficult for you. I cross my arms. We're not leaving. Karen sneers, we'll see about that. The escalation begins. Animal control rolls up. Someone reported illegal trapping. Jeff's scribbling a tally on the cooler. Animal control, 1. Sheriff, 2. Karen meltdowns, infinity. Next comes game warden. We're making SMORAs, I explain. Then code enforcement. Then environmental health. Each one summoned like Pokemon by Karen's endless supply of complaints. Each one leaves more annoyed than the last, finding nothing wrong. By dinner, the sky's golden, burgers on the grill. We try to salvage peace, but Karen's not letting go. One night, she brings a whole PDA squad, 6 women, a megaphone, the works. You're trespassing. You're destroying nature. That's a dandelion, ma'am. Exactly. Sam just cranks up classic rock until Karen's voice is drowned out, and her group huddles, then storms away. But the deeper we got into the week, the more I realized this wasn't just Karen being nosy. This was obsession. She organized fake inspections, invented a Facebook community board, and handed us a pink flyer titled Community Cease and Desist Order typed in Comic Sans. Karen, I told her, this isn't real. It will be, she shrieked, storming off again. At some point, sympathy started sneaking in. The last straw came when Karen actually brought a lawyer, a real guy in a suit and tie, carrying a briefcase of blurry photos and fake injunctions. You must stop construction. No, I said. The lawyer left. Karen returned, eyes red, voice trembling, talking about all her family memories. Kids learning to walk by the creek, her husband building a swing on the oak. For the first time, she didn't seem angry. She seemed lost. But still, we weren't backing down. By then, we decided to turn this land into something real. A cabin, a retreat, a legacy. Contractors arrived. Supplies were delivered. Karen tried everything. Protests, petitions, neighborhood watch patrols in matching polos, even staging a body protest, refusing to leave the cabin footprint. The sheriff came and shut her down for good, right in front of her entire crowd. I thought it was over. We thought it was over. But Karen had one final move, a bulldozer. I kid you not. We watched in disbelief as she aimed a 40,000-pound bulldozer straight at our cabin, screaming she'd stop us herself. The deputies arrived in the nick of time, lights flashing, shouting her name. She tried to stop, hit the wrong lever, spun sideways, gouged a trench in the earth, barely missed the cabin. They pulled her out, sobbing and exhausted, not even fighting as they took her away for questioning. The tension snapped. We stood, dirty, tired, staring at what almost happened. Jeff finally broke the silence. Well, that escalated to grand theft bulldozer fast. Sam grinned. Let's get back to work. By sunset, the cabin was standing tall, the porch looking out over a peaceful, golden valley. Karen was gone. Her crowd was gone. The only sound was the creak and the hammers. Us building the future. And that's the lesson here. Some people will fight to the bitter end to hold onto the past. But just because you remember something doesn't make it yours. You have to step up, put down roots, and build something real. People like Karen will try to push you off your path, out of fear, pride, or pure habit. But the only way they win is if you let them. Now, I gotta know, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts below, argue it out, share your stories. And if you're here for more Karen and HOA madness, hit subscribe. There's plenty more where this came from.